Okay, and welcome back again. We are going to continue our game, and here we are at the map screen. So in the last video, we went through the deep dark forest, we went past the fleens, we went past the hotel, and then we got the mud ball wall, and now we are at the second checkpoint, which is the shade tree camp. So we are going to go pick up there. You can see we left 16 Zoombinis at Shade Tree. And here they are waiting for us. Wait, that's not the order I left you in. There. Not that it really matters. And we have just one leg of the journey after this, and then we'll finally be at our new home. But the next part is the hardest part of the game by far. At least I think it is. It's my favorite part of the game, though, so I don't mind that too much. But let's go ahead and hit continue.
Throughout these gloomy mountains, strange carvings left by ancient peoples are everywhere.
Okay, so in this part of the journey, we'll be going through the mountains of despair. It's like the cliffs of insanity, but they're mountains. Anyway, so this is the first puzzle here. Let's take a look. The lion's lair. The stone lion requires a certain order from the Zoombinis before they can pass. To move the lion's paw, the Zoombinis must be grouped together and sorted by one attribute, such as nose color. The symbols on the wall next to the lion give clues of what feature to sort the Zoombinis by. For example, colored noses on the wall are hints to line up the Zoombinis by color of nose in the order that they appear on the wall. Okay, so this at this difficulty is actually one of the easiest puzzles. It's sort of a warm-up for the two puzzles after that, which are much harder, especially on later difficulties. Because at this difficulty, this puzzle requires no guessing, and not really much logic either. The symbols tell you what order the Zoombinis need to be in. And just so you know, the order here, left to right, is the order here from left all the way to the right. So this is the farthest left, which matches the farthest left symbol. And then the farthest right symbol is this one here toward the right. That can be a little hard to tell with how it curves around. And this is another puzzle where we get so many chances before the puzzle shuts us out, and any Zoombinis left behind just have to stay behind. So here we get 3 wrong guesses. Each wrong guess will remove a pin, and on the 4th wrong guess, all the pins will be gone, and this gate will come crashing down. But there's no reason to have any wrong guesses, because again, at this difficulty, you don't need to guess. All the info is right there. So we just need to line up the Zoombinis by this order. This is a nose, so these are the colors of noses. So the first one is blue, so we just need to put our blue Zoombinis first. At this difficulty, it's only one attribute that matters, so the order of the Zoombinis within each group does not matter, so we can put the blue noses in any order. And that's that. And then the green noses. Oh. So that was an unintentional mistake, but that shows you what happens if you put a Zoomini in the wrong place. It'll actually disappear, and then it'll be sent to a correct place. Not necessarily the only place that was right for it, but a place that is right. And that happened because I forgot one of the blue noses, so that one should have been next. So just make sure before you finish up one group that you haven't left any behind. So green is next. And double check that there's no green left. Then we have red. And then we have orange, where there's just one of those. And you don't have to start at the end either. You can start at the front here. You can start in the middle, I guess. But then you would have to count how many from each end that you need to be based on how many Zoombini groups you have and how many Zoombinis in each group. So it's just easier to start at the ends, either end. And that's the last one.
Hip hip Zombini! Hip hip Zombini!
Yep, so again, this puzzle is one of the fastest ones to solve, but that was just a warm-up for what's about to come.
Use the crystal filters to change the Zoombinis' reflection. It will give them crystal slamming protection.
Okay, so this puzzle here, it's interesting. It really changes a lot depending on the difficulty. Like, it becomes almost a completely different puzzle. But let's go ahead and look at the help. So this is the mirror machine. The mirror machine requires matching reflections before allowing Zoombinis to pass. Find matches between Zoombinis in your group and the reflections located on the right side of the wall. When you're ready, place a Zoombini on the cart and a matching image into the mirror on the opposite end, and then click the lever. If the images are identical, the Zoombini will pass to the other side. If not, the Zoombini will be knocked back to the Shade Tree base camp. Click on the lever again to clear the images and continue playing. So this is a puzzle where every Zoombini is out for themselves. So you pass or fail on the level of individual Zoombinis. So it's possible to do great on most of them and fail on a couple of them. It's possible to fail on all of them. So you just have to be paying attention. The goal here, as they said, is to match up these Zoombinis with these images on these panes over here. It's usually easier to start with the images since there's fewer of them, and then try to find a match among your Zoombinis. So after a while, you get sort of used to training your eyes so you can just look back and forth quickly. You only need to find one match. In fact, I think there's only going to be one potential match. But I could be wrong about that. There could be more than one. But you only need to grab one for now. So this doesn't have a match. That one doesn't. That one doesn't. Not that one. Oh, this one does. Okay. But just out of curiosity, no. So this is the only match that I saw. So you pick this up and you put it over here on the right hand side, and then pick up the Zoombini and put it right here. And then just double check the pictures. Make sure the nose color especially, that one's easy to miss. If it helps, you can say the names of the features out loud, like hat, glasses, blue, train, hat, glasses, blue, train. And then when you're ready, click the lever. And if you're wrong, you can't undo it. So make sure you're correct. Okay. And then when it gets to the end here, the lever will flash and you can click it to reset. And then you see all of these pictures reset as well. So you'll get a new batch of pictures every time. So this one is our guy, Aiko. I remembered his name. We're going to make sure he goes through. And this is the one puzzle that can take a while. Like, especially on easy difficulty, it's not hard, really. It just, because you're doing each Zoomini separately, it can take a little while to do. Especially if you're like triple checking to make sure that you are being careful. So those two match. So there's almost a stamina aspect to this puzzle where near the end you can sort of get lazy or your eye can get tired and you're not looking as closely. And if that starts to happen, then you might start making mistakes. Let's see. This one. And then that one. And then... This one. This one. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, there it is. What was I saying? You get tired and then it's like, where is it? Where is it? And you're looking right at it. It's after midnight here, but I really wanted to finish at least this leg of the journey and get them home safely before I wrapped up. Okay, so that one looks good. And then let's see. There's lots of springs and roller skates. So here's one. It has sleepy eyes, kind of like I do. Alright, I think that's halfway through. So the reason to pick this first is like you could try and just put a Zoombini down and then find a matching picture, but you're not guaranteed that there will be a match. So it's easier to look for this pane first, I think. Of course, once there are like only a couple of Zoombinis left, it might be faster to look at the Zoombinis first. Alright, this one. And that one. Let's see. This guy. Okay, then we've got springs, roller skates, feet, and helicopter. So I think it has to be a spring this time. This one. Well, we're getting there. And we won't have to play it at this difficulty for very long. So after a while it will get more complex. And then it'll still take a while to do, but at least it'll be a little more interesting to solve. Let's see, spring, nope. Oh, this one. Okay, so there's only a few Zoombinis left, so it's kind of easier to look at the Zoomini side now. So this one has a match right there. And also, the more that you have, they stop further back, which means that you're ready to reset sooner. Doesn't make a huge difference, but... Alright, now this one we know what it has to be, so the last one is always going to be pretty easy.
Splendid job!
That one was excited. Alright, let's go.
Search first for traps. So easy to miss. To get Zoombinis across Bubble Wonder Abyss.
Okay, so we made it. The final puzzle. This is, I don't know if it's the hardest. I mean, people will have different ideas about which puzzles are hard. But on the highest difficulty, it's probably the one that requires the most careful execution. This is another one where Zoombinis can be lost individually if you do the wrong things with them. But if you mess up with one Zoombini, it can cause a chain reaction where every Zoombini after that is also lost. So let's look at the instructions. Bubble Wonder Abyss. The Zoombinis are seeking a way across Bubble Wonder Abyss. Directional arrows and Zoombini features tell you the direction a Zoombini will move in. For example, Zoombinis will move in the direction the white arrow is pointing. If a square displays an arrow with a symbol of a Zoombini feature, such as a red nose, any Zoombini matching that feature will travel in the direction of the arrow. Those that do not match continue in their original direction. Be aware that some arrows change direction once a Zoombini has passed over it. Plan ahead before sending the Zoombinis on their way. The order is important. And that's probably the most important bit of info about this. The order that you send Zoombinis across this matters. And a lot of the others, it didn't matter too much. It matters here. Sending even one Zoombini out of order can just wreck the entire thing. So it's almost like programming in a way where you have Zoombinis that are going through and passing through certain operators or comparators, or however you want to think of it. And then you have switches that you can trigger, which is like changing a state on and off, or from yes to no, or however you want to think about it. So our goal is to put a Zoombini onto one of these two platforms. They'll be encased in a bubble and float across, but they can't just float diagonally across all the way to the end. They'll start going in the direction that the arrow is pointing. And there's sort of a grid here, so they'll go in that row or column of the grid. And then if they encounter things that can change their direction. So if they encounter a solid white arrow, they'll then turn and go in the direction the arrow is pointing. If a Zoombini goes over a square that has a feature on it, like this is the ponytail, this is the shaggy hair, this is the flat top, if they match that feature, they will then go in the direction that that arrow is pointing. So if we send a ponytail Zoombini this way, they'll go here and then up, and then they'll turn because they have the ponytail and go here. And these little swirls are like black hole vortex things, and if a Zoombini goes over one of them, they'll get sucked through and basically fall into the abyss. And they'll be fine, probably traumatized, but they'll be back at the last campsite. But we don't want that to happen. So planning ahead and grouping Zoombinis and lining them up can be helpful. This is a puzzle with no hidden information. You should be able to basically plan it all out before you do anything. And sometimes you'll have to like write it down on a separate piece of paper on the later difficulties, because it can get pretty complex. But we already know that ponytails cannot go this way, or they will get sucked into that abyss. So all the ponytails have to go the other direction. I'm not going to send them through yet, because I want to make sure that the other direction doesn't have any other special rules or criteria, but we'll group them all here near that arrow. And then that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone left has to use the other arrow. We'll want to check it out. So let's say we send someone this upper path. So they'll go up and then this way and then down. And then if they have a ponytail, they'll be redirected to the right. Otherwise, they'll keep going forward and go into this pit. So we do have it where all ponytails have to go up and anyone else has to go to the right. And if they go the up path as a ponytail, they don't encounter any other filters or anything special. They'll just go all the way to the end. So right now, we might as well send all the ponytail ones up. Only one of them can go in one bubble, but we can keep putting them on the platform. We don't have to wait for them to get to the other side. The one potential danger of sending multiple across at a time is that if paths cross or if a path loops onto itself, they can run into each other. And if they do, then both of their bubbles will pop. But this path, it's safe. It won't cross itself. So you can send a whole bunch of them one after another and it'll be safe. And then these guys that made it to the end, they're safe. We know that they can continue on. But I want to wait for all of these to finish going before I try the other path. So this other path, let's make sure all the ponytails are out of this group, which they are. So the other path, let's say we were to send this guy through. So he has the flat top, so he would go this way, up, and because he does not have a ponytail, he would keep going up. And then he would continue to go up. He does not have shaggy hair, so he would go up and make it all the way to the end. So if I sent him, he would be fine. Now you might wonder, well, what if they do have shaggy hair? How would they make it? And what happens, and you won't necessarily know this the first time you play, but do you see how this arrow has a faint gray outline pointing toward the right? So every time a Zombini goes over this arrow, it'll change direction. It'll go back and forth from pointing up and pointing right. So I'll go ahead and send one of these guys through to show how that works. So it changed right there. So now if I were to send a flat top through, it would go this way, this way, this way, this way, and then be redirected and go into the vortex. But it will now be safe for me to send one of the shaggy hair ones through, because they will go this way and then up and then to the end. So knowing that, we have shaggy hair and flat tops, and we have to sort of alternate between them. And there's some that don't have either of those, and those can go basically anywhere. We just have to make sure that we have enough time to send both the shaggy hair and the flat tops through, because we don't want to end up with several of one at the end, because we can't send two shaggy hairs one after another, or else one of them will go into the vortex, and we can't send two of the flat tops in a row, or one of them will go into the vortex. So I'm just sort of forming the line here. So shaggy hair next, then flat top, shaggy hair, then flat top, shaggy hair, then flat top, and the rest can just go at the end. They don't matter as far as their order. So we'll pick him up, and then he'll be safe. And then we'll give him a little bit to get out in front, and then we'll do the next one. And the next one. So once you figure out your order, you can actually start sending them across pretty quickly. The one potential downside of that is if it turns out you made a mistake and your order wasn't correct, if you send a bunch of them out quickly, you might not notice the mistake in time to save the others. And of course you have to worry about collisions, but that's why I'm just giving each one a little bit of a breathing room. Okay, so it looks like they will all make it across.
You got them all through. Good for you.
And that was it. So at the first difficulty, it's not too hard. You just have to be careful, like pay attention, plan things out a little bit. But on later difficulties, it can get really hard, and you will need to plan very carefully. But so far so good. Zoombinis have all made it, so let's continue and see what we have next.
Is this it? Could this be the place they've been seeking? A place of hope and prosperity? Zoombinis!
Who put the sign up? Okay, so this is the end of the journey. We finished the logical journey. We made it to Zoombinisville. So this is the place where they have their new home. It's got a nice blue sky. There's some grassy hills around us. And then in the valley here, we have some flat land where they've started to build up a road network and a few little houses. And all the Zoombinis that we saved are all right here. We can actually click on them and see that these are the same ones that we brought with us. So, to commemorate, we have Zykwai, Dweffy, Swopo, that's 3. We also have Edibi, Yoghoga, Ease, or Isa, I think was standing here. You can actually move them around, I'm not sure why, but we have Wook, Iprizi, Akaislu, Huispeko, Gibi, and then over here we have Aiko, who I remember. We also have Diarna, Ikauku, Smikwinu, and Idiso. So they all made it. It should be 16. We also
For the
have...
love of all trapped creatures everywhere, go back and free more Zoombinis!
Yes, we also have more Zoombinis left. That was only one group. And we haven't even done all the puzzles. We left 3 of the puzzles undone. But we do have some interesting looking buildings around town. Not just the little houses, but some bigger things. So let's see if I can see what these are about. Oh, I haven't checked the question mark yet. Zoombinisville. Yes, thanks to you, Zoombinis have found the perfect spot to build a new community. Click to the left and right of the screen to see more of this bountiful region. If you successfully bring a full band of 16 Zoombinis through one entire leg of the journey, a special building for the community will be constructed to commemorate the perseverance and fortitude of the Zoombini group during that part of the journey. Click on the small pack located on each community building to read about the Zoombinis' brave adventures. Now that you've made it, hundreds more await freedom at Zoombini Isle, and you can't let them down. Click on the map icon to get back to Zombini Isle, Shelter Rock, or Shade Tree to bring more Zoombinis along the journey to Zoombiniville. Can you free them all? Will you win all 16 reward buildings? The Zoombinis are counting on you. Okay, so this is what I was talking about for the 100% completion criteria. One of them is to get all of the reward buildings. So basically how it works is every leg of the journey has 4 difficulties. And there are 4 different legs of the journey. You'll only take 3 of them on any particular journey, but there are 4 possible ones. The 2 middle ones you have to choose between. So 4 possible paths at 4 different difficulty levels. Each time you complete one of those on a new difficulty level, and you get all 16 Zoombinis through without losing any, then you will get a new reward building. So 4 difficulties, 4 legs, that's the 16 reward buildings. And then the other completion criterion is to free all 625 Zoombinis and bring them here, which theoretically you could get that before you got all the reward buildings, if you were always losing Zoombinis along the way to disqualify you from the reward buildings. But I think it's more likely you'll get the 16 reward buildings first, and then eventually you might bring all the Zoombinis to Zoombiniville. So I don't think I've ever gotten all the reward buildings. I don't remember what all of them are, but if I start getting some and some of them look unfamiliar, then that will be ones I've never gotten before. And I've definitely never gotten all the Zoombinis to Zoombiniville. I'm not sure if there even is any kind of recognition if you do that. But that would definitely be quite the accomplishment. So for now...
You've done just great for today. Relax. Turn off the computer. Go get some fresh air.
I'd get some fresh air, but it's about 1 in the morning, so it'd be a little cold. But we do have 3 reward buildings, so we made it through 3 different legs of our journey. And we got all the Zoombinis through each time without losing any, so they gave us 3 reward buildings. So let's check them out. I'm not sure what order these are in, so... Okay, this band shell was built to honor the Zoombinis who ambled past allergic cliffs, cruised on by the stone-cold caves, and appeased Arno the almost omnivorous when traveling was not so easy, September 17, 2023. So yes, it remembers when you did it, as well as the difficulty you were playing on. And I'm sure back in the 90s they didn't expect that. What is this? This game came out in 96, so that's about... Why can't I do math? 2006, 16... So that's like 28 years since this game came out. But it still can put in the correct date for you based on your computer date, so that's cool. And then again, for the reward buildings, each building that you get on a certain leg has to be on different difficulties. So this is for the first leg, the big, the bad, and the hungry. So there is a reward at the not so easy difficulty, which is actually the easiest. And then on the next 3 difficulties, if you get through, there'll be 3 more buildings for that path. And then we've got this windmill was wrought to honor the Zoombinis who...
What are you waiting for? Free the Zoombinis, you bold adventurer, you! Can't you hear them crying to you from Zoombini Isle? Free them! Free them!
Or make him sick, you will, behaving like that. No, that's eat them, eat them. First you wanted me to turn off the computer, and now you want me to go back and play more. Make up your mind. Anyway, this windmill was wrought to honor the Zoombinis, who... How many kids playing this game back in the 90s knew what wrought meant? I mean, I knew, but... So they flushed the finicky fleens, and Hotel Dementia had pleasant dreams, and catapulted cleanly over a mudball wall, when traveling was not so easy. September 1723. And then this should be for the last one. This general store was erected for the Zoombinis who did not lag in Lion's Lair, solved the secrets of the mirror machine, and flew above Bubble Wonder Abyss when traveling was not so easy, September 1823. Okay, so they have a store, so they can buy stuff, a windmill, so they can make bread, I guess. And they have a band shell, so they can have concerts with the instruments they can't play because they don't have hands. I guess they'll all play kazoo or something. But okay, so that was one group of Zoombinis successfully brought to Zoombiniville. And if we go to the map, you can see the route they took. So this is a route of all of the challenges except for past Shelter Rock. You could also take a northern route, which is not on the map yet, but we will take that route the next time we go through. But it is getting late, and I think that is plenty for one video. So thank you for watching. You can see it does mark what difficulty every path is on. So I believe you need to complete a path 3 times without any losses, and then it will automatically advance the difficulty to the next level. So if we were to play Zoomini Isle and then go through the Big Bad and the Hungry again, I believe it would still be on Not So Easy. But we will double check that once we actually take a route. Next time we'll have to go back to Zoombini Isle because that's where all the Zoombinis are, and make another random group of 16 and take them along the path again. And again, probably take the northern route so you can see the other 3 puzzles that we didn't do yet. And then back through the Mountains of Despair. If we complete the northern route, we will get a special building for doing that one on the first difficulty level. And then, yeah, just gradually go through the puzzles, increase their difficulty, which will allow us to unlock more buildings, and then just slowly build up Zoombiniville. But I thank you very much for watching. This was really fun to play. And I'm glad that it's not a quick game that you can just finish in one evening. It's definitely something that you can enjoy for many days. And again, I will include the link for where I got this game. And if you can't get that link to work, or if you'd rather just try a more recent version that's compatible with newer PCs, you definitely check out the remake version on Steam. It should be, again, basically the same puzzles, just a graphical difference. So if you prefer to use that one, I'm sure that would be just as fun as this one is. But that is it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I am signing out.